In this video, I'm going to be presenting a few short videos from my Skool community. This is basically going to be a mini course on how to set up some of the more difficult connections in n8n. Things like Google Drive, Google Docs, OpenAI, some of the less straightforward connections you need to set up to work with these nodes in n8n. So let's jump into it and enjoy these tutorials. I'm going to show you how to connect your Google Drive to n8n. So I've set up a Google Drive trigger right here. I'll double click into it and you can see I already have one of my demo connections set up in here, but I'm going to create a new connection. So what you're going to do in the Google Drive node is click into this box here and click on create new credential. This will bring you to this page where we can enter in our Google client ID and our client secret. So we need to head over to the Google Cloud to get that client ID and that client secret. I'm going to jump over to Google Cloud Console. To find the Google Console, you can search console.cloud.google.com. That'll bring you to the Cloud Console. Now you're going to sign in with your Google account. So I'm signed in here to Digital Automation Diagram with this email here. I have these other accounts here. I am signed in to my Cloud Console with my same Google account email right here. Once you sign into your account, we can come up and select a project or create a new project. I'll click on this button here, click new project, and we can create a new project. In the project name, I'll name this n8n master connection. You can name it whatever you want. Click create, and that project will be created. Now, once you create that project, we'll get the little green check mark. You can click on this button here or come up to this button again, select a project, and we'll see that new project in there just like that. Click on that new project. We see that project selected up here, and we can see that project selected down here. So I'm going to come up to the three little lines here, click on that, come to APIs and services, then enabled APIs and services, click on that. Then we can click this button to enable APIs and services. In the search bar here, I'll type in Google Drive, and there it is, the Google Drive API. Click on that, click enable, and there we have our Google Drive API enabled in our enabled APIs and services over here. So in this left side panel, we're going to come down to OAuth consent screen, click on that, and we need to set up our app for the Google Drive API. What we need to do here is select external, click create, and we can enter in an app name. You can name it whatever you want. I'll name mine the same as my project, n8n master connection. For the support email, you'll enter in your actual email. Then we can scroll all the way down and add an authorized domain. Click add domain. Now you're following along with me here, but if you ever need help setting up these connections and finding information, let's jump back over to n8n. We can find all of the information in the n8n docs right here. So I'm going to click on that to open docs. And this is the n8n docs on setting up your Google Drive account. You can follow this guide to set up your account. What we actually need, we can scroll down here and you can see what we've done. We've created a Google Cloud Console project. We've enabled the APIs. We're configuring the OAuth consent screen. What we can do is click on this link here. That'll take us to the relevant section of these docs. And you can see we have set these settings here: external, the app name, the support email, and now we need the authorized domains. For the authorized domain, we can simply add this right here. So I'll copy that, come back into the Google Cloud Console and paste that right there. Enter in your email address one more time, then click save and continue. Now, just to help you reference, I'll jump back over to the n8n docs. We can see for the next section, we just hit save and continue, and it takes us to the scopes page. We don't need any scopes. We can hit save and continue. So again, these n8n docs are very helpful setting up any of the connections that you need to set up within n8n for any of their nodes. I'm going to come back into the Google Cloud Console and we can scroll down, click save and continue. For test users, we can hit save and continue. And for the summary, we can scroll down and say back to dashboard. So here we are in the OAuth consent screen. We have our app set up. Something I like to do is actually publish the app. You don't really need to know what this means, and we don't actually need to submit our app for testing, so we can just click confirm. When your app is in production, you won't need to constantly renew your authorization with Google Drive. If your app remains in testing, you'll have to renew your authorization once a week. Since we're in production, we won't need to do that. that. The next step is to create our credentials. We can come into the credentials section on the left side here, click on credentials, come up to create credentials, click on OAuth client ID. For the application type, drop this down. It's going to be web application. For the name, you can name it whatever you want. I'll name mine the same as my project. Scroll down and add in the authorized redirect URI, not the authorized JavaScript origins. We want to add the redirect URI. Click add URI. Now we can jump back into n8n. This is the redirect URL we can copy and paste. Just click on that to copy it. Jump back into Google Cloud Console and we can paste that right there. Then scroll down, click create. This will pop up with your client ID and client secret. This is what we need to paste in n8n. So I'm going to copy my client ID, come into n8n, paste the client ID right there, come back into the Google Cloud Console, copy the client secret back into n8n, paste the client secret right there. And now we should be able to sign in to n8n Google Drive node with Google. We'll click on that, sign into the account you built that project in, and you'll get this screen saying Google hasn't verified that this app. That's what we want. Click on advanced, click on go to n8n.cloud, click select all, scroll down and click continue. Now we can see our account is connected. This window says we are connected. We can close this window. And finally, I'll just name this connection. For the sake of good naming, I'll name it the same as my project, the same as my app, the same as my credential, n8n master connection. Click save and we can close out this window. There we go. n8n is now connected to your Google Drive account. I'm going to show you how to get Google Docs set up in your Google Cloud Console. This is what you'll need to create your credential in n8n. This one is going to piggyback off of the instructions on how to set up your Google Drive credential. So you'll need the same project, and all we need to do inside of this project is actually enable the Google Docs API. So once you have set up your Google Drive connection, we can set up the Google Docs API in this same project. I'm going to come up here to the three little lines, drop this down, click on APIs and services, come up here to enable APIs and services. In the search bar, type in Google Docs, and we have the Google Docs API right here. Click on that, click enable, and that is it. You've now enabled Google Docs API with your same Google Drive credentials. So now your credentials will work for Google Drive and Google Docs. I'm going to show you how to get rid of the second window that pops up when you run a webhook in n8n. If I run the workflow and trigger the webhook, we're going to get this new window that will pop up saying the workflow has started. We can automatically close this new window with a simple script. Let me show you how to do it. So in your webhook node, I'm going to double click the webhook, come back into it. We're going to set the respond to using respond to webhook node. I'm going to click outside of the node, click the plus to create a new node, and I'll type in respond to webhook. Click into respond with, drop this down, say text, and in the response body, you can type in this simple script, window.close. This is a function to close out the new window that pops up. Make sure you copy the script just like this with all the symbols and punctuation. For good practice, let's add an option, response code, and we'll send that 200 response code. If you follow my videos, I like to use Airtable a lot, so this situation comes up when using Airtable, specifically when using a button to trigger webhooks. So I just set up a quick button right here. I have back in n8n two triggers. This is the one we just set up, and this regular webhook trigger right here. I'm just going to copy the production URL, make sure the workflow is active, come into Airtable, and I'll paste that URL into my button just like that. Now, if I were to trigger this workflow, I'll hit the button. We can see this window pop up with the message workflow has started. Let's go back into n8n. I'm going to copy our new webhook right here, come into the webhook trigger, copy the production URL. I'll also go ahead and deactivate this webhook trigger, come back into Airtable, paste that webhook URL into my button, save it. Let me close out of this extra window that popped up. I'll click the button. We can see that window tried to pop up and then immediately closed. I'll go ahead and click the button again. You can see that one more time. Pops up and immediately closes. So that is the workflow on using this type of webhook with this close window script. I'm going to show you how to create your OpenAI connection in n8n. So I'm going to double click on this module and create a new credential here. I'll click on this drop down. These are my other credentials. I'll come to click create new credential. Anytime you want to set up any new connection, you can always come here to the docs. n8n has excellent documentation on setting up all your nodes, making all your connections. So it's very easy to just follow along with this documentation here. Let's go ahead and do just that. So we need our API key and optionally our organization ID. To get that, we're going to have to come into OpenAI. So OpenAI, you'll need to create an account here. This is going to be different than your chat. If I just go to my regular ChatGPT account, this is something different. If you're paying $20 a month for ChatGPT, you'll also need to create your OpenAI account here to access the API and make connections in n8n. What I'm going to do for OpenAI is log in with Google. I'll choose my Google email and click continue. This will prompt OpenAI to start gathering information about you. You can fill in some basic information here. Birthday, click agree, set up your organization name. You can name your organization whatever you want. I'll name mine Digital Automation Diagram. Make a selection here. I'll say somewhat technical. Click create organization. You can invite your team. I'll say invite my team later. And we can create a new key right off the bat. So this will be my new API key that I use in n8n. For this one, I'll call this n8n test. And for a project name, we can choose a project here. You can assign API keys to different projects just to organize what you're working on and keep things organized for yourself. I'll call this project YouTube demos and click generate API key. Now this is the API key you'll actually need to copy, write this down, keep this safe. You'll need this to enter in any of the nodes that require your OpenAI connection. I'll click copy, click continue, and now you'll add your API credits. I'll click I'll buy credits later. And now we can see your new platform.openai.com profile has been set up. You can follow along over here and figure out everything you need about this platform. What I'm going to do is come up to the settings right here. We can see the general settings. This is my organization. This is my organization ID. Just in case we need this for other connections, this is where you're going to find your organization ID. For API keys, we can come in here. We can see the new API key I just created, and we can come into billing and add credits. Now you're going to need to add a few credits in here, and that lasts quite a while with all of the API calls that I'm doing. So your credits will last quite a long time. Once you have your credits in there, come back into n8n and paste that API key right there. n8n does not require your organization ID, but some other connections might. Let's come up here to rename this connection. I'll name this OpenAI demo connection. You can name your connection whatever you want and click save. Credential successfully created, connection tested successfully. We're good to go using OpenAI in n8n. I'll close out this window. We see our new credential has been created in here, and now I can fill out the rest of my nodes. I'm going to show you how to connect your Airtable nodes in n8n. So here I have my n8n workflow. I've got an Airtable trigger node. I'll double click into this node and you can see my connection here. I'll click into this credential to connect with drop down and come down to create new credential. Now we can create our connection here. We're going to connect with an access token. Click on that and we can paste the access token here. These are the scopes we're going to need to actually create this access token. We'll come back to that in a second. So I'm going to jump over to Airtable. Here I am in my Airtable dashboard. I'm going to come up to my account settings, come to Builder Hub. Now you want to find your personal access token section here. Under developers, you'll find the personal access tokens. Click on that and it'll bring you to this page here. This is my permanent access token. What you're going to do is come up here to create new token. Click on that. You can name the token. I'll name mine Airtable demo. You can name yours whatever you want. Come down to add a scope. Now these are the scopes we're going to need to remember back in n8n. So I'm going to jump into n8n. We're going to need data.recordsRead, data.recordsWrite, and schema.basesRead. Let's jump back into Airtable. We're going to choose data.recordsRead, click add a scope. data.records write, add a scope, and schema.bases read. Now for access, we can add the base we want to give access to. For this demo, I'll just use my task management base, grant access to that base, and click create token. This is going to pop up your access token. It's only going to show you this one time. Make sure you copy it, save it, write it down. I'll copy this token, click done. And now we have our new personal access token created here. I'm going to jump back into n8n, paste my access token right there, then come up to name my connection. I can name this connection Airtable demo. You can name yours whatever you want, then click save. Once that comes up with a green check mark, you are connected and good to go. You can close this window and see your new credential set up in your Airtable node. I'm going to show you how to connect a Telegram bot in n8n. So I'm going to double click into this Telegram trigger node. Click in the drop down to select my credential. I'll create a new credential. Now we need an access token. I'm going to jump over to Telegram. Now in your Telegram account, you're going to want to find this username right here, BotFather. You can search contacts and type in this username right here to find BotFather. Click on BotFather and you'll be able to start this bot API. So I'm going to come down, hit start. And this will start right away with the commands you can do in Telegram. I'm gonna come down here to new bot. Now we can name the bot. I'll name it test demo. Now we can choose a username. I'll name it test_demo_. It's required to have the word bot in the username somewhere. I'll enter that in. And as I figured, that username is probably taken. Let's use the username test digital automation diagram demo bot. This is the link to start a chat with your new bot. Before we do that, I'm going to copy this access token right here. Click on that to copy it. Jump back into n8n and paste that access token right there. You can name your connection right here. I'll name mine Telegram test and click save. Connection tested successfully. I'll close out this window. Now we can test out our Telegram trigger. I'll click test step. We can see that it's by default set to trigger on any message received. So Telegram trigger is now listening for a message. I'm gonna come back into BotFather and open up the new chat with my new bot. Click this right here. Here's my new bot. I've started a new chat with this bot. I'll click start to opt in to the bot. And now we can see the new chat with my new bot. This was technically a message to the bot, so that should have triggered the n8n node. Let's jump back over there. And we can see the node has triggered. We now have an output coming from that bot. I'll click out of the node. We can see that has turned green. We have a successful trigger in n8n. I'm going to show you how to connect your WhatsApp Business Cloud to n8n. Stick with me on this. This is going to be a tedious process. Let's dive into it. So I'm going to double click on my WhatsApp trigger node to open it back up and come in here to the credentials drop down, click in there and click create new credential. Now it's going to show the information we need. We need our client ID and our client secret. Anytime you want to connect any nodes, you can open up the docs here and follow along to figure this stuff out on your own. That's what I did to figure out this connection. So let's get to it. The first thing you're going to need, open up the docs. You'll need to create a Meta developer account. If you click on that, it'll bring you to this page here where you can click this link to register as a Meta developer. Click on that. Go ahead and register as a developer. You're going to need a personal Facebook account to register. You log into your personal Facebook account. Anytime you're working with Meta using the API for any of these tools here, you're going to actually need to log in with your personal account, but then you'll be able to connect any APIs to your business pages, business accounts, things like that. So once you've registered with Meta, you can come up here to My Apps. I'm going to click Create App. Click Create App, and for the app name, I'll type in n8n connection. You can name your app whatever you want. n8n connection demo. I'll enter in my contact email, then click next. For use cases, choose other, click next. For app type, choose business, click next, click create app. Now we can add one of these products to our app. I'm going to choose WhatsApp, click setup. Now we will need to add a business portfolio from your Meta business suite. If you don't have a business portfolio set up in Meta with any Facebook pages, I've got the tutorial for that in my Skool community. You can jump over there, check it out. But you will need a Meta Business Suite Business Portfolio. All right, so I'll just run through this really quickly. You're gonna come to business.facebook.com. This will bring you to the Meta Business Suite. In the Meta Business Suite, this is where you can set up your Facebook pages, connect it to your Instagram accounts, plan all your ads and all of that stuff. So in the Meta Business Suite, right at the top here, we have this drop down. This will let you choose which business portfolio you actually want to be working in. Inside of this drop down, we can come down, click on Create Business Portfolio. You'll type in the name of your business portfolio. I'll just name mine Demo. Enter in your contact information and click Create. That'll create a new portfolio. A business portfolio inside of Meta is kind of like a folder to house all of your Facebook pages and Instagram accounts. So you can see I have my digital automation diagram business portfolio, Sleepy Sea Monster, and my personal business portfolio down here. Again, you just need the business portfolio. You won't necessarily need a Facebook page or an Instagram connected inside of there. I'm going to come back into the Meta app dashboard, click continue. And it'll jump you into the quick start section over here for your WhatsApp connection to your Meta app. We're gonna come up here to app settings, drop this down, click on basic. Now I'm gonna refer back to the n8n documents here and we'll scroll down to this section we're at. Currently, we've just selected the basic app settings and now we need to enter in our privacy policy and our terms of service. This is going to be a pitfall for somebody if you don't have a website, or if you don't have an app already in use, you don't have a privacy policy written out or any terms of service written out. So I'm going to put a link in the description of this video to one of the services I use to generate my privacy policy and my terms of service. So this is the tool right here that I used. I'm gonna go ahead and log in to Terms Feed, and you'll be able to generate a privacy policy and terms and conditions. So I'm gonna come to My Agreements and Policies, got my privacy policy and my terms and conditions. I'll click on my privacy policy, I'll click download, copy my privacy policy, come back into my Meta app dashboard and paste the link for my privacy policy right there. Jump back into Terms Feed, go back, find my terms and conditions and copy that URL. Jump back into my Meta app dashboard and paste my terms of service right here. I'll come down, click Save Changes. And with these two items in here, we can come up and set the app mode to live. This will actually let us use it with a test number in WhatsApp. Great, so now we are live. We can jump back into n8n with our app ID and app secret. So first of all, I'll copy the app ID right here, jump back into n8n, paste that into the client ID. Let's go back into our Meta app and I'll copy the app secret. First, click show, then copy that app secret. Come back into n8n and paste the app secret right here. You can come up to this connection, this WhatsApp trigger connection, click save, and you can see our connection tested successfully. I'll exit this window. All right, so we've got our trigger connected. We can leave this trigger on messages and test this step. The other important thing you need here is the WhatsApp Business app. So I went ahead and downloaded the WhatsApp Business app on my cell phone, and I'll be working on my phone for this next section here. Now, what we need to do to test this out is actually grab that test number that was set up in the Meta app. So I'm gonna jump back over there and I'm gonna come down to the WhatsApp section here, come to API setup, and we have this test phone number we can test out this n8n workflow with. So I'm gonna use this test phone number, come into my WhatsApp Business app on my phone and start a new chat with this phone number. Great, so I'm gonna jump back into n8n, click on test step. Now the automation will wait for a signal from this number. I'm gonna type in, hey, send it, and we'll get that message come through. There it is. Hey, we can check the schema or the JSON view. I prefer the schema, something more akin to make.com, just having these elements listed out like that. So we see in the text body, there's my message right there. So our trigger is actually working from n8n. We can text the WhatsApp bot from my phone. Excellent. The node has turned green. We can move on to the next node. I'm going to show you how to create a business profile in your Meta Business Suite. So first thing you need to do is come to business.facebook.com. This will bring you to the Meta Business Suite. So I'm going to log in with Facebook. Anytime you're working with Meta, Instagram, WhatsApp, any Meta app, you're going to have to log in with your personal Facebook account. Everything is going to be connected to your personal Facebook account. Once you log in with your personal Facebook, you'll be able to connect all your business accounts, business pages, and business profiles. So I'll log in with my personal account. This is my personal Facebook logged in over here, and it sets me up in my home page for one of my business accounts, digital automation diagram, Facebook page, and Instagram account. Now, you're not going to have any connections if you've never set up anything in the Meta Business Suite. This space will let you plan your content, see your analytics, all your messages across all of your accounts and profiles, set up your ads, all that kind of stuff. So what you need to do is right up in the top here under Meta Business Suite is this drop down. Click in this drop down and you can see all of your business portfolios with all the associated business accounts. Again, if you don't have anything set up here, what you can do is come down to create new business portfolio. You can name your portfolio anything you want. I'll just name this one demo. Enter in your information here and add your business email. Then click create. You may get this message here saying choose a different name. Facebook wants you to enter in something that sounds more like a business, so I'll just say Skool Community. Click create, and that will set up your new business portfolio. You'll be able to add your Facebook pages, Instagram pages, anything you want to connect and add into this business portfolio if you have anything to add to it. Just click next, confirm, and come down to switch business portfolio. Now that one is selected up in here, and you can add anything you need to this business portfolio. I hope you like this little mini course. I have a ton of supplementary tutorials like this up in my Skool community. Just little extra things, tips and tools and tricks you need to get these things working and set up. I have the link below. You can check out my Skool community and I look forward to seeing you there. I'll see you in the next video.